Welcome to today's webinar, How to Navigate Wellness Travel. I'm Paloma Villaverde de Rico, Editor-in-Chief of Recommend Magazine and moderator of this webinar, which has been made possible by Recommend as well as the following partners: Florida's Paradise Coast, Naples, Marco Island, and the Everglades, and the Wellness Tourism Association. This webinar is a complement to the Wellness Travel Trends Survey that was conducted on recommend.com, as well as the Wellness Travel Trends Report, which starting today is available for download from the handout section of the webinar. During this conversation with our panelists, we'll speak about wellness travel trends and how COVID-19 has impacted what travelers are seeking when it comes to wellness travel. Before we begin, a few housekeeping items. During the presentation, feel free to enter your questions in the question box. We'll gather them together and hold a Q&A session at the end of the presentation. And don't worry if you miss something, this webinar is being recorded and you will receive a link via email to access the recording at your leisure. As an accompaniment to this webinar, a link to the Wellness Travel Trends Report will be included in the follow-up email. And so let's start this webinar by having the panelists introduce themselves. Anne?
Thank you, Paloma. It's so great to be here with you and my fellow members of the Wellness Tourism Association. My name is Anne Dimon. I'm the President and CEO of the Wellness Tourism Association. And I'm also the founder and editor of the online resource travel2wellness.com, where you'll find lots of articles about the industry. And over to one of my colleagues here.
Yeah, thank you, Anne. Andrea?
Hi, everyone. Thank you very much for the invitation to be a panelist. My name is Andrea Dragosits, and I am the founder of Soldier and Adventure. I've been in the travel industry for 17 years and have been promoting wellness tourism for almost 7 years. I'm a wellness travel concierge and lifestyle liaison, and I help to inspire and connect and guide solo women to a wellness destination and experience.
That's awesome. Thank you, Andrea. Chris?
Hi, thank you, Paloma. I'm Chris Torgerson, based in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I'm the founder and owner of Stone Arch Travel, and we specifically work with luxury and wellness travel.
Excellent. Thank you, Chris. And Lulu?
Hi, I'm Loulu Lima. I'm based in Austin, Texas, and my company is Book Here, Give Here. It's all about curated travel experiences around the globe with social responsibility.
Awesome. Thank you so much, all of you, for joining this panel. I know it's going to be amazing. A lot of insight for our audience. So let's jump right in then. Let's start out our discussion by defining what wellness travel is, and who better than that than Anne, the president of Wellness Tourism Association. Over to you, Anne.
Over to me. Okay. Well, first of all, I just want everyone to know that the Wellness Tourism Association was launched in January of 2018 with the purpose to unite stakeholders in the industry and to bring standards and definitions to the industry. And on that note, we define wellness travel as being any travel that allows the traveler to maintain, enhance, or kickstart a healthy lifestyle. So it's pretty broad, but that's the definition. And that is the definition for our panel discussion today.
And it stayed pretty much like that even through COVID. You don't see any changes, right?
Correct. Yes.
Excellent. So our next question is, and this one's over to Lulu, did you pivot in terms of how you sell wellness travel due to COVID?
Yes, actually I did, because before I was just selling wellness as hi, you just need to get away, everything else, and it's break your everyday routine. Well, now we're talking about let's break your everyday four walls, right? So being in quarantine really does something for your mind, and it's not a healthy piece. So really focusing on just go out, breathe some air, even if it is local, even if it is a daycation of sorts, or a focus on something that is close by. If you're not comfortable, taking a plane, but maybe you're comfortable driving an hour and a half to 2 hours, depending on how you're willing to go. So a lot of that is really just kind of re-educating the customer and going, wellness is mind, body, spirit, but it's how comfortable you feel about it. and really kind of going in that direction.
And are you seeing the clients are asking also about health and safety at the different establishments, the hotels and whatnot?
So some people are. I have actually been doing quite a number of live webinars with basically opening up my global Rolodex to my followers and all of my viewers and clients, and basically just saying, look, these are the conversations that we're having. So they're bringing on, so they being my guests are really focusing on, hey, this is what we're talking about. This is what we're doing. These are our protocols. This is what, these are all the moving pieces. So after the live sessions go on, I do get private messages from my viewers to kind of go, hey, I really like that. Or can you explain a little bit more about this? Or what does it mean to be certified in the cleaning area? What does sanitation mean to this particular brand? And all that kind of stuff. So those questions are being asked. I think that's important because it's easing people's minds in terms of fear.
So that's like a new trend now that has emerged because of this COVID, which segues into my next question. What new trends, Chris, have emerged in the wellness tourism segment because of COVID?
So something that we're seeing a lot of, and I'm sure Lulu and Andrea can attest to this as well, are webinars, virtual retreats, virtual webinars. I think it's been amazing how properties have been able to step up and really embrace what they needed to do to bring wellness, health and wellness to clients. Specifically, I've done quite a few, but one that really stands out is Euphoria Retreat and Spa in Mistras, Greece. Did a fantastic job of really bringing that wellness piece to all of those who were tuning in via webinar.
Does anybody else want to add anything before we, Anne?
I'll just add something. I've seen that as well. In fact, what we did with the WTA in April is that we launched a section of the website called Healthy at Home, where people can go and just find out what all our members are doing with regard to digital online webinars, things that they're offering. So many of the things that you in the past could get on a wellness retreat, you can actually access from your home during this time.
Yeah, it's amazing how everyone did do that. They just pivoted and just created these amazing experiences where you could, obviously you're not there, but you really felt like you were enjoying what they could offer. It's amazing. And yes, I remember when you launched that, Anne, that was great. I thought that was very, very good.
Thing that Paloma, that I've also been doing is that I've been working with different local vendors. So one example is a colleague of mine who opened up a wellness directory. She has about the journey. So her focus is really, hey, what's by you? What can you find? Do you want to meet somebody locally, or if you're taking that car ride, do you want to meet somebody where you're at? So so it's been a really great opportunity as well for that, to do a lot of collaboration within the industry.
Yeah, I think one of the silver linings, if there are any, is at least that the industry has reimagined how they can offer all of these experiences, which I think is very, very interesting. So are clients rebooking to the same destinations and hotels for future bookings, Lulu? Are they going to the same places?
No, they're not.
Okay.
At least not the ones that I've seen. Because first of all, right now we have limitations as Americans where we can go. So they're asking for ideas of what can I find within my budget, within my likes, and with what I need. And so that to me is, that's a big change overall, because it's made me have to kind of revisit and go, oh gosh, these properties in this particular destination, I didn't really know them as well as I used to. And now I'm becoming more and more of, okay, I need to have my educated properties in the 3, 4, 5-star range, so that I can take care of all clients at all different budget levels, and make sure that they're getting the experience they want within their budget.
And so you're seeing people still booking within the next few months, or have people changed over to 2021? Okay.
Especially since I did a trip recently where I just traveled to Cancun and I videoed it. So I did the traveler journey. And that has actually opened up my email box, and my phone has been going crazy because as people saw that I was able to travel safely, they're like, oh, I can do this too, if she can do it. And so it's giving hope and giving people going, well, maybe I want to go away. All of a sudden, yesterday, I had about 6 different calls of, I want to leave for tomorrow.
Wow.
And we were doing that. Right, Andrew?
Yeah, I'm noticing the same thing. I'm finding that if you're out there and blogging, and I use social media as a huge marketing tool, travelers want to go where you are going. So it's a great opportunity to use that as a marketing tool, and using your influence and traveling and visiting destinations.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're actually seeing a lot of interest in a car ride or a short flight from where people are based. And kind of as a side note, my husband and I are actually looking at purchasing an RV so that we can travel, visit the destinations, and get out the information to clients that want to stay within the US, especially now, as you know, for many of us, that's what has to happen.
You have to be the guiding lights at this
Absolutely.
moment, right? For travel, you know, there has to be hope. Yeah.
We're calling them wellness staycations, close to home or close to your region, and with wellness as the focus, but staying within your particular area, and either drive holidays or, as Chris said, short flights.
Yep.
Yeah. And it is amazing how popular the RVs have become now. It's just great. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in Ontario, Canada, and all the RVs are sold out. A lot of the cottages that we have here in cabins are completely sold out. It's just a scramble for everybody to try and find that location close to home.
So true.
It's amazing how humans pivot, you know, because they do want to get a home. I mean, travel is everything, you know, and like, well, how can I get away? There has to be a way that I can get away, at least for a few days. And even if it's close to home, at least it's getting away, you know. That's excellent.
One of the things I've noticed too is that I've got some clients that have said, well, I'd like a home for another month. And so they're social distancing and they're quarantining in a different destination. And
Okay.
so temporary moves, so to speak.
Right.
That's excellent. Yeah, that makes sense, right? Yeah. New surroundings. So, Chris, what does 2021 look like in terms of bookings for wellness travel?
So I think, again, going back to the car ride, short flight away, people right now, we're seeing them really in a wait and see mode as things slowly start to open and change, right? I mean, we're seeing both ways, where things open and then close again. So I think there's a bit of hesitancy to look too far ahead, especially with international destinations, because we don't know when those borders are going to be open. We actually have quite a few bookings to the Maldives because they are welcoming US travelers with open arms. And there's nothing better than being above the water, right? With that sound of the ocean and the sun on your face. So again, we're looking for 2021, we're seeing more of that local feel and flair.
And are those 2021, obviously the bookings are to the Maldives, but in 2021, are you still seeing that trend toward those outdoor experiences?
Absolutely. And I think that outdoor and having the fresh air is going to be, you know, kind of a driving factor, along with the way that each property and the way that they can get to that property, how they can protect themselves and protect their loved ones.
Yeah, I think I focus on what I'm going to call soft adventure, and is going to be more of an intricate part of the wellness piece of things, because there are obviously people who are been avid adventure travelers, and those guys have always been outdoors, but now I'm seeing people who haven't always been physically active or haven't requested some of these things, and so they're going, I want to do this, but I want to do it on a lighter level.
Exactly.
So calling it the soft adventure, right? So, and for them, it's, hi, I'm getting out of my comfort zone. So it is a wellness mind adventure. And then physically trying to see, you know, what can I do and where can I go with it?
Lulu, that actually soft adventure, things like kayaking, canoeing, hiking, cycling, have always fallen under the umbrella of wellness. So this is we're just going to see more of it now.
Right.
And in terms of these bookings, are you seeing a certain age category? Who's being more adventurous in terms of being the first ones out there? Is there a certain age?
That's a good question.
I see 40 up.
Sorry, Lulu?
I see 40 up.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay. Because I've seen a lot of the millennials, they say, are the first ones that are going to start going out there. Chris, you wanted to say something?
So we're seeing, I'd say a little bit older than that, 50s and up. They really want to travel. They want to get out of their four walls, to Lulu's point. And so we're seeing a little higher age range, and then also multi-generational families that want to look for something where they can go and all be together and do those soft adventures.
Yeah.
It's interesting you should say that, because I was speaking to my parents yesterday who live in Spain and are in their early 80s, and they say, you know, it's easier for them to travel within Europe right now. Well, obviously it's always easier, but right now even more so.
Right.
And they're like, I think we want to go to Iceland. Safe, away from everyone. And I said, yep, right. I mean, my mom even asked me, let me know any contacts. So I said, that's great. They're very adventurous, but yeah. But so going on to the next question, Chris, this one's for you. Are you seeing, and anyone else who wants to respond after Chris, of course, are you seeing clients book more buyouts of entire resorts? I think we touched on this a little bit, or book private rentals so that a family or small group can enjoy themselves without having to adhere to those certain restrictions. You know, they're within their own family.
Exactly.
And do you think this will be a lasting trend?
I do think that it's going to be a lasting trend because, you know, it's the safe way to go. If they can do a buyout and have that comfort level of they're traveling with people that they know how they're actually handling the COVID experience, that they're being safe and they're all together. I think that people are finding more interest in doing that, and I do think that it's going to stay.
Excellent. Does anyone else have to add to that? Are they seeing more private home rentals?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, there's a lot of requests for, does it have to be a really big hotel? So it's really finding those small boutique properties, those bed and breakfasts. Do they have private villas, or are they, if it's a big property, is it everybody far away from me? What's the occupancy level going to be at some of these places? What are the rules? Like in Mexico, as an example, the rules across the board is 30% occupancy.
Yeah.
So even on some of those bigger properties, you have a lot of elbow room, and because the rooms are being closed down for at minimum 24 hours before they're even cleaned and brought over, they're using a lot of their inventory. So you may not have a neighbor or 2 or 3 people on your same floor.
Mm-hmm.
And oh, sorry, Andrea?
Oh yeah, I'm seeing a lot of, like I was mentioning before, just trying to find private homes, and Airbnbs skyrocketed, VRBO, like just trying to find those homes where they can all be together as a family, but have a more of a staycation.
Excellent. And Chris, you want to say something?
I was just going to say that I've never had as many questions as we have recently on the occupancy levels of hotels and resorts. Some people used to ask, but now they all want to know. And to Lulu's point, they're hoping for smaller properties or less occupancy.
Yeah, that we at a local hotel here in Miami, we just wanted to rent for the day, a poolside cabana. And I asked, I said, what is your occupancy rate? And I mean, what's the top, and what about the pool too? Because you also have to, I don't want a million people at the pool, because since people from outside can rent it, it's
Right.
the same thing. So yeah, they're probably now going like, oh gosh, now this is the new question that everyone's going to be asking, but they got to be ready for it, right? And oh, Anne,
I just wanted to add, this also bodes well for the wellness retreats out in nature, surrounded by scenic visuals, and that's kind of where people are headed. So I think they'll do very well in, you know, slightly remote areas, and I think we'll see a big demand for that.
Oh, I think wellness travel is gonna surge after this so much more. I mean, it was already so popular and going up, but yeah, I think it's gonna even more so after all of this. Like you
Well,
mentioned in the article you wrote for us for the July-August issue.
Well, one of the reasons for that is I think we are all going to place a higher value on our own health.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
as we incorporate that into our everyday lives, we're going to want to take it on the road with us,
Yeah.
or learn how to live a healthier lifestyle by going on a retreat that's going to teach us how to do that.
Yeah. Did you want to add something, Lulu?
Oh, she said it. Words right out of my mouth.
Excellent. I did want to ask you a question, Lulu. When you were in Mexico, what type of guests did you see at the resort? Was it families, young people, older people? I'm just curious.
It was a great combination. The first resort that I was at was a family friendly, and the second one was adults only. So I got to see both opportunities. In the airport, I was surprised to see how many flights were coming in full and into Mexico, and the immigration line being, there was actually 3 sections that were full. I mean, the lines were out the door, and there was a limited social distancing, even though you had the place marks on there. Everyone wore their masks, and so, and the lines went pretty quickly, but still, it was the amount of people. People are looking to go. They're itching. They've been in quarantine too long.
Yeah, that's true. So, Andrea, this one's for you. COVID or not, what are the most important elements in creating the perfect wellness vacation?
So I think, as we were just talking about, a wellness vacation can be self-directed or a wellness retreat. And as a concierge, I love crafting, wellness vacations for clients. And really, it's a vacation should be promoting health and wellness with the whole body, mind, and soul. And you should really leave your vacation feeling re-energized, rejuvenated, balanced, and just feeling better than when you left. So some of these elements are just a focus of nature, just like Anne was saying, just being completely immersed, whether it's hiking or walking, yoga and mindfulness, meditation, spa treatments, definitely having some level of fitness or water sports, like Anne was saying again, canoeing and kayaking. Healthy eating is really important as well, to make sure that you're nourishing your body. And also the atmosphere is really important. So just ensuring that it's a very zen and peaceful atmosphere. So these I think are the key elements in crafting a wellness vacation.
So the spa still remains an important element, right? Because a lot of, like wellness is so much more. What used to just be the spa, so sometimes I wonder if people think, oh, the spa still is part of it. If you can just speak to that for a second.
Yeah, clients are absolutely still asking for spa treatments. I mean, there's definitely more treatments and services available than what there used to be, whether, it was just a pedicure, manicure, and facial. There is such a wide variety of services that are offered by all the tremendous amount of destinations out there.
Excellent. And Lulu, you had something?
Yeah, and also wellness is not just for ourselves, but it's also social, right? So there's a piece of, whether it's volunteerism or just knowing that you're doing some cultural immersion with somebody who's going to benefit from you being there. And I think that's also something that's really important. At least for me, it's something that I make sure that all of my itineraries focus on, that there is some level of, I'm a small business owner, I'm going to work with another small business owner in destination, and making sure that travel is sustainable. And that gives people peace of mind as well, because that it helps them go, what, this meets my values. This meets, and sometimes when we're not thinking of our, like, we're living in, again, the quarantine, that four walls, where are our values set? It's nice to kind of bring that out into the social aspect of it.
Oh, so that's interesting. Yeah, the melding of sustainable tourism and wellness tourism. Exactly. I mean, they really are very important components. Anne, did you want to say something?
Yes, I just wanted to say, I think people now are even going to be more interested in sustainability and the volunteerism part, because it's so important to give back to the communities, especially so many communities have gone through hard times with this. And I think our social consciousness has been raised that, we want to care for the planet a little bit more, and we want to help the local communities. So I think that's even going to be more important as we move forward.
Excellent. Before I go on, Chris, did you want to jump in and say anything?
Nope, I'm good.
Good. All right. So which have traditionally been the most popular destination among your clients, Chris? I'll let you have this one for wellness vacations.
So for wellness for us, we've traditionally been European destinations, especially Italy and Greece. Those have been the two top. Thailand, of course. I mean, it really depends on what the client's looking for. And those would be our three top that we've done.
And when
I see you shaking your head. Thailand as well?
Yeah, Thailand is really big for my clients, as is South America. So that's also really big, and Central America starting to come into play a lot with, just kind of Guatemala, people learning the Mayan roots and all of that, and going back to the nature of things. And so, yeah, that's starting to be a big draw.
And how do the clients differ? Oh, sorry, Andrea, just one question. How do the clients differ between the ones who want to go to Italy and Greece and the ones who want to go to Thailand, for example? What are the ones looking to go to Thailand looking for, as opposed to the ones going to Italy and Greece, Chris?
So one thing is the amount of time that they have, right?
Okay.
And I know we're going to talk about this a bit as we continue, but really listening to the client and what they're looking for. I mean, somebody might want to go to Thailand and literally go to a monastery and immerse themselves in that culture and, the culture of meditation. Whereas somebody going to, say, someplace in Greece or in northern Italy, they could do Milan and they could go to Lefay Resort and Spa and kind of package that all in, but they don't have to be gone quite as long. So, that's a price, amount of time, and really then what they're looking for.
That's good insight. Andrea?
Yeah, I was going to say I've been promoting Costa Rica for, I would say, a good 6 years. And Costa Rica is just, I can't get enough of Costa Rica, and neither can clients too. They're just waiting to get there. And I think it's just the elements of being in nature and getting away. It's a very easy destination to visit, and it's full of wellness activities. So yeah, Costa Rica is a big one. And the other one that I'm seeing trending too is Africa. And there are definitely clients out that are looking to strike those things off their bucket list. And what better time to do that when perhaps there's a lot less tourists there and there's a lot less crowding. Right now, the safaris, I'm sure it's just full of wildlife. So really people are very curious about Africa.
Yeah, it must be gorgeous to visit now, right? Yeah. And Anne, are you seeing these same destinations or any others that you wanted to add?
Well, it's funny because as people go through saying what clients want, nature keeps cropping up. That's what they're looking for, more remote culture, just, being out there and checking things off their bucket list. By the way, Africa is fabulous. I've been a couple of times and it's amazing. So yeah, no, I'm agreeing what I'm hearing. And it's funny. So several years ago, I did a survey with Travel to Wellness and asked people if you could travel anywhere in the world for a wellness vacation, what geographic destinations would you choose and why? And Italy was at the top of the list. I don't know whether or not it still is today, but it was several years ago. And then many of the other, Costa Rica definitely was on that list as well. So I think I'm going to do that survey again.
Yeah.
Great idea.
What people say now.
Especially now, yeah, that would be excellent. That would be gain great insight. And Costa Rica is a beautiful country, really just stunning.
It
All
is.
the countries are beautiful.
And Costa Rica is going to be opening in just a few weeks.
Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah.
it's my home away from home. I spent 6 winters there, so I do miss going back to Costa Rica, but
And the
Nice.
people of Costa Rica, I mean, are just so wonderful, just really welcoming people. So Andrea, what trends do you see staying in line once we're truly in a post-COVID world?
I mean, we just talked about it. Definitely nature inspired for mental well-being, components of mindfulness, purposeful and conscious travel, I think is absolutely going to be a big trend, as well as sustainable travel. Absolutely in destination, the health and safety and comfort of travelers, that's absolutely going to stay. We have been talking about the wellness at home, especially with the WTA initiating this, and a lot of these virtual retreats. We see that trending right now. The staycations, the localized domestic travel, these road trips. I do feel like this is also going to be a strong trend. Solo travel. I do believe that solo travel will also continue to rise. I also think that off the beaten path type experiences and unique destinations will also trend. And just having that sense of privacy and, where they actually virtually feel alone, or like we were talking about buying out resorts or private islands. I don't know, did anybody else think that there was any other trends that they noticed?
I think you mentioned them all.
I think you covered them well, Andrea.
The other one I'm seeing too is I'm seeing a lot of incentives from destinations. So for agents and for travelers to come to destinations. So I think we're going to see a lot of that, and the use of influencers to be in destination to promote and market that way.
And we touched on this a little. There was a bit on the ideal client for all of these new trends. Lulu, can you expand on that just a bit? You know, it's older is what you're seeing, but do you think that's going to stay like that, or what are you seeing?
So I think it's going to be everybody. Every generational group is going to have different pieces, and it's also going to be very budget specific, because what one budget can afford, they're going to find a way to go, I want XYZ experience. And they're going to try to find a way, not necessarily a DIY kind of concept, but rather just how do I get that same experience that somebody on a luxury level is getting so that I can participate as well. And so, like as an example, I tend to offer payment plan options for a lot of my clients when they plan further out in advance. So I'm giving them the opportunity to go, if you could only afford X now, what if you waited a little bit longer? Could you afford that same thing that the luxury travel can afford? And once you go into there, you never come back, right? So it's really kind of educating all those different folks on the different levels, especially the younger folks who are like in their 20s and 30s versus the 40s and 50s, and then of course the baby boomers, 60 plus. So there's a lot of different ways to do it, and again, physical ability as well. Each age group is going to have different capabilities of what they're going to be able to do, and that has to be catered to as well. So, but I think that wellness is available for everybody at all levels.
So, and this is open to anyone, how important is the travel advisor going to be now in this COVID and hopefully post-COVID world that we're soon going to be living in? Now, how, tell your peers how important this is going to be and how they can best sell themselves to their clients, because I think they're just going to be, without them, it's going to be so important to have a travel advisor now. Who wants to speak to that? Anne?
I'd just like to say increasingly so, especially for the people who lost money by booking in other ways. And I think to have somebody helping you plan your trip and being there for you when something goes wrong, I think we're going to see a lot more people gravitating towards using agents and advisors.
Yeah, they're really looking for our knowledge and our expertise and just guidance. I mean, I just find it, I'm constantly getting questions about that, and also travel insurance.
Yeah. Chris, you want to know something?
I think that what clients are seeing, and those that perhaps were trying to do their own travel through one of the big box companies, what they found immediately upon COVID was that sitting on hold for 12 hours was not something that they wanted to be doing. Those that worked with travel advisors and that have friends that worked with travel advisors that could make one call, or without even making the call, were contacted by the travel advisor to take care of them and let them know that we had their back. I think that we're going to see more clients realizing that a travel advisor is not just something that they want to use, but a necessity.
Yeah.
And everything that we do is we focus on curation, right? So not only are we curating the destination or the hotel or the activity or the ship, whatever, we're also curating and vetting the client to making sure that we're matchmaking them correctly. I think that's probably the best terminology I can think of. We have to be matchmakers because we know the products, we experience the products, and we take time to know you. And our goal is to not be one transaction and done. It's to build a relationship. And the longer that we have that relationship with somebody, the easier it is to, oh, you want to go here. Let me tell you about going to Greece right now. And from your last vacation and what you did, and you really enjoyed that, you're going to really enjoy this. So there's a lot more of that relationship.
Yeah, that's excellent. Yeah, matchmaking.
I call it finding the right fit.
That's right. So that actually segues perfectly into the next question, which I'll let Chris start off with, but I know everybody will have something to say. What are some of the most important questions to ask a client considering a wellness vacation?
So to Lulu's point, I think that working with a wellness client is so much deeper than just sending a client to do the hot spots in Italy or in any place in Europe. So you really get to know that client. You need to know, are they looking for a program, for a weight loss program, for a sleep program? Do they just want to get away? Do they want a meditation program? And something that I think for all advisors, it sometimes feels awkward to talk about price, but you have to, and especially in this wellness arena, the amount of money that can be spent really spans, from the lower end to as much as they want to spend. So you need to have that discussion with your clients and really find out what they're looking to spend, what they want to do, and then set their expectations, and give them those options.
Did anyone else want to add something? No?
No, I pretty much said a lot of the stuff that I would have. The only thing I would have probably focused on was just that I do a questionnaire for all of my clients. So, and it doesn't matter if I've done 1 trip or 10 trips. Every trip has a questionnaire because I need to know what's important to you.
And
Sorry,
Andrea.
So I actually do a lot of coaching with my style of consulting. And so with my clients, it's really important to find out what the intention of the trip is, and to ensure that the trip is, definitely have that wellness focus, but what is the intention behind it? So that's the key thing for me is to really, because I consider myself like a wellness lifestyle liaison. You should, again, feel rejuvenated coming back from the holiday, and what does that look like for them?
And I wanted to ask Anne, because Anne actually wrote something very interesting in the article she wrote for Recommends July-August issue. And she said sometimes the client doesn't even realize that they want a wellness vacation, so you have to listen to cue words. Can you speak about that a little bit, Anne?
Absolutely. If they're talking about, oh, they're so exhausted all the time, or they're stressed out, or, you know, they really need to feel they need to get back into shape, or they're just don't know which way to turn. I mean, you can hear, if you're really listening, you can hear those type of words that sort of will spark in you, hey, it really sounds like a wellness vacation or a wellness retreat, which is more of a multi-day led vacation. You know, you can just hear what they're saying and say, okay, I think they might like this, and maybe recommend something to them when they've never even thought that that's what they needed.
And I'm sure that's going to happen a lot right after this. Yeah, Chris?
Another piece that don't forget to ask, are they okay with not having alcohol at a resort or a property, or do they want to have a glass of wine? Because you're not only matchmaking with the client, but also with the property, and you want both to be happy, right? So it's not going to be a happy match if somebody is looking for something, wants to go through all of their physical experiences during the day and then relax with a glass of wine in the evening, if they're at a property that doesn't allow it. So be sure and ask that question.
Yeah, I actually wrote an article, I think it may have been for Recommend as well, about questions that agents should ask their clients. So if there's anyone on the call who wants a list of those questions, I don't know, Paloma, how can we do?
I can speak to the technical team and we see how we can get it out to them, because I can find the link for that. Yes, definitely. And the last question of my set sort of ties into that. So maybe, you know, we've sort of answered it. What are some of the tactics you use, tips for other advisors to engage wellness clients? You know, if you have any other tips that you'd like to add, or maybe we've covered it. I mean, we've covered a lot during these 40 minutes. If not, does anyone have?
One thing I would just suggest, sometimes people don't know that they're wellness clients. They've never experienced wellness, right? They've vacationed, but they don't really know what wellness is, and it might be a bit daunting. So one really nice and easy way to bring it into their travel experience is to suggest an upon arrival massage. To get them, especially if they're doing international traveling, to get them kind of balanced and refreshed, a good night's sleep. You know, you talk to them about how important it is to have a dark room, and those are the properties that you're working with that can provide perhaps a pillow menu, a dark room, an upon arrival massage, and you start to sort of bring up these different points, and I think that's how your clients will start to get curious, those that aren't wellness clients, and you can turn them into a wellness client.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
The other thing I was going to mention, that, and I think Paloma, you mentioned this earlier, is there are a lot of people out there who think that wellness is all about the spa, but it isn't. So maybe they don't want a spa vacation, and thinking it's wellness, they don't realize that it could be a cycling tour with a lot of healthy food options and a few yoga sessions. I mean, there's all kinds of things that can be put together for their own ideas and their own intentions. And it doesn't have to include a spa. I love spas, and they're wonderful to include, but it's not an absolutely necessary element. Healthy food is much more important.
Yeah, and I also think leading by example, I mean, just going out there yourself and showcasing what destinations are out there, what other options are out there. There are so many incredible destinations worldwide that provide some level of well-being that are not just a spa. So just leading by example, for me, social media has been incredible, and just being that influencer.
Excellent.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I focus a lot on gastronomy. And so since everybody's like, oh, I'm a foodie, great, let's do healthy. And before you don't realize how gastronomy can be really healthy and really great and kickstart you. And all of a sudden, but you're having this gourmet meal, and it's, you know, and it's exactly what you needed. It's really combining the terminology and learning how to use it right.
Yeah, that's definitely true. So I've wrapped up my questions, and before we go on to taking the questions from the audience, we have a little surprise. In addition to the survey Recommend conducted, whose results are included in the trends report you'll be receiving in the follow-up email, the Wellness Tourism Association conducted a consumer survey, and Anne would like to speak about that, highlighting wellness vacation motivations. Anne?
Okay, and the very exciting thing is we ran this survey for 3 months, and we collected close to 4,000 consumer responses from 48 countries and territories. That's a lot. That's impressive. I'm impressed. So what we asked them was, post-COVID, what would be your main motivation for taking a wellness vacation? We did this in conjunction with a PhD, a professor from a university in South Korea. So it was done with academics in mind. And here's what consumers had to say about their motivations for a wellness vacation. Number 1, to return to everyday life feeling rejuvenated, to escape the demands of everyday life, to experience outdoor activities, to look and feel better, to connect with nature, to find peace and quiet, to get a better night's sleep, and to learn general ways to improve their health. Now, we also asked them another question relating to this. Was there anything they wanted to add about what they personally were looking for with regard to motivations that were not mentioned in the previous questions? And they came up with 4 main themes. 1, social connection and desire to be with the like-minded. The desire, again, to be in nature. It's a prevailing theme. To improve mental health and to learn to be proactive about their own health, wellness, and well-being. Wellness relating to health and well-being relating to happiness. And we're going to have a deeper dive into this survey and be releasing more results of the survey later in the summer.
And we get everything up online on recommend.com, so you can go to our site or to Anne's site. And Anne, what was the most surprising of those results to you?
Okay, well, the nature was not a surprise, because all the surveys we've done in the past has nature as one of the top priorities, the getting out to nature. The thing that was most surprising was that just a little over half were female who responded, the rest were male. And that's the highest male response we've ever had in any of the surveys that I've done. And Travel to Wellness has been online since 2004, so I've done many surveys over those years. And now men seem to be finally getting it, that they too can be proactive in their own healthcare, and traveling will help. That was the most surprising thing.
Yeah, when I saw the release come through yesterday, that was very surprising to me. I said, wow, that's awesome. That's great. Great to get that much percentage for men. Yeah.
As an agent, don't discount the men who are clients. They want to be healthy.
Definitely. All right. Thank you, Anne, for that. That's very good insight. So let me go on to the first question. And let me know who wants to take it. For someone who has been an agent for the last 14 years, how would you recommend someone like me moving towards the health and wellness industry? Who would like to respond to that one from our audience? Lulu?
So I think that the easiest way to do it is to just start talking about wellness as a part of travel. It's a mindset. It's not necessarily I'm doing a wellness trip, but rather I'm living a healthy lifestyle. I am focusing on my mind, my body, my soul, my elements around me socially and so forth. So take that lifestyle and incorporate it as part of your marketing.
Excellent. Anne?
It's also exceedingly important to walk the talk. Show your clients that you adopt this lifestyle and you take it with you on the road, and tell them about what it's meant to you. And I think that reinforces the benefits.
Excellent. Chris?
To Andrea's point a little bit ago, I think that people are inspired and clients are inspired by what you're doing and how you're walking the walk and talking the talk. Sometimes words can get in the way. Forest bathing might be scary to some people, but when they learn that it's just a beautiful walk in the woods and stopping and breathing and taking it all in, and to speak to that, I think it really helps your clients to kind of come on board and want to experience some of the same things.
Excellent.
And sometimes it's not even just, videoing it. Sometimes it's just writing a story.
Absolutely.
Right? So no matter how you communicate it, don't feel like you have to video yourself doing it. Sometimes it's writing that blog or short story on, or recap of your trip or your personal experience. I think personal experiences is the tone really of what everybody here is saying, that, practice what you preach what you practice, and just kind of go in that mode, and it's going to be so much easier for you to convert that person.
Yeah, and I think it's also really important to share your story, but to authentically express your clients why it is that you want to get into wellness. Not because this is definitely becoming a growing trend and the industry will boom. It's what the intention behind that is for yourself.
And that's why I was saying it's really important to walk the talk. Then you can share that information with them.
That's great insight. So Anne, this is for you. Someone would like for you to define wellness travel again.
Again, okay. It's any type of travel that allows the traveler to maintain, enhance, or kickstart a healthy lifestyle. And you'll find all our definitions under the glossary section of the wellnesstourismassociation.org website, because again, one of our missions is to bring standards and definitions to the industry.
Yes, everyone check out that website because it's really immersive and you get a lot of information. So there's one agent asking, how can I find, and I guess, again, go to your site, a wellness directory in my area? Is there a listing by geographical locations? I think the Wellness Tourism Association, yeah, it's a good
There
site.
is a directory, yes, there's a main section, the directory, and then all our members are divided into individual categories. So if you're looking for a supplier, there's a supplier category. So that's a good place to start. And then you can email me if you're looking for something in particular. I might know of somebody else. I've been in the industry for a long, long time as a journalist for close to 25 years. And you can also check out the Travel to Wellness site.
And again, someone wants you to, the URL for Wellness Tourism Association.
It's the .org. So it's Wellness Tourism Association.org.
Excellent. And Lulu, this one's for you. Since you just returned, what were the pools like? And were they able to limit the number of people and keep distance?
Great question. So the pool at the family resort that I was at actually had, the resort itself had about 6 or 7 different pools. So it was absolutely zero crowding. If you felt that you were in an area where maybe too many people were sitting in there, you just moved on to another area where there was nobody. So plenty of opportunity there. In the adult only pool, because there was only a limited number of occupancy to begin with, so it was a much smaller number. There wasn't so much social distancing, but people were in their own little groups. But they also did have like aqua aerobics, they had aqua spinning, and all that kind of stuff. And they social distanced you when you were doing all those activities. So so that's kind of what I saw personally. And I'll actually be putting out a video of a lot of these moving pieces. So those of you guys who follow me will be able to see it.
Excellent. And so you all spoke about great destinations for wellness vacations, but someone is asking, what about here in the US? What are some of the best places to go? Anyone have any thoughts? Anne?
I like Sedona, lots of nature. I also really like Palm Springs in California, surrounded by nature, just away from the congestion, big city congestion, and access to the great outdoors. Those are just two. There's lots of others, but just top of mind.
Yes, Chris?
Really, every state, almost every state, has some type of beautiful wellness property. A lot. There are many in New York on the East Coast. Mohonk Mountain House, Shushigiban House, Miraval has 3 properties. Tucson, Lenox, Massachusetts, and Austin. So there's a myriad of locations and incredible resorts that are literally right here in the US and available for all.
And Canyon Ranch is another one that has both in Arizona as well as on the East Coast, and I believe in Massachusetts. So Vermont is awesome. I would think of places where you would go for a ski resort, and you can also flip that over, or where you go golfing. So for those people who, maybe you're going, oh, I know about that great golf course. Well, chances are that where that golf is or that skiing is, there's going to be some type of wellness around it. So that's just kind of how I learned the properties, and even like individual housing, villas, and things like that as well.
And I wanted to add, not only because they're one of our partners for this webinar, but Naples and Marco Island, actually one of their pillars is wellness. So they do a lot with the wellness travel as well. And so Andrea, I think this one's for you because you've been there many times. They are asking, what is the best time? Oh, actually, one thing I did want to add referring to Sedona is that for more US good travel destinations for wellness, we have a lot of information on Sedona in the Trends report. We actually interviewed them and got a lot of intel, so you can read through that and see a lot on Sedona. But Andrea, back to you. What is the best time to go to Costa Rica?
Okay, so the best time to go to Costa Rica is definitely December and January. It's the high season, so it is booking out right now for 2020, 2021. My favorite time to go to Costa Rica is in November, which is just coming off the green season. So it still is sort of on that teetering between high and low season. And it's beautiful. It's very lush. You are going to avoid less crowds. But definitely January and February even are the most ideal times to go to Costa Rica.
Excellent. Okay, so maybe this one's for you, Chris. I have heard Greece mentioned a few times as a popular wellness destination. So what is it about Greece that is so great for wellness travelers?
So I would say the first thing that comes to mind are the people, the beauty of Greece, the food. It's it's kind of the original farm to table. So the food is just phenomenal. And nature.
Watering.
Excuse me? What was that?
I said mouth water.
Yes, exactly. I mean, there's nothing better. So so having all of those surrounding you, and the water, I mean, it's incredible.
So we're wrapping up the questions. I have one more thing. They're asking if we can put everyone's contact, if we can share that with everyone who's listening. If that's okay, then our technical team will do that in the chat and everyone will get information on all of you guys. So you might get a whole bunch more questions after this. And so this has been awesome. You guys have given so much great advice. I am so happy for having all of you. Thanks everyone for attending the webinar. So thank you, Anne, Chris, Lulu, Andrea, for providing such great expertise on wellness travel and the crisis the world is currently facing, unfortunately. So stay safe and stay healthy, everyone. Thank you.
Paloma, thank you for putting this all together.
Namaste, everyone.
Namaste.